Welcome to the Maine Pageant Place. Today we have the honor of sitting down with Carolyn Augusto. Carolyn, how are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, let's let the viewers know a little bit about your early life before we address this beautiful sash and crown.
I was born to a boat builder, lobsterman father from the coast, mid-coast down in Waldoboro, Bremen area. And my mother was a hairdresser. It was a small town, went to small town schools, graduated, moved to Vinalhaven, Maine, that's where I'm from, and graduated there in 1991. Stayed in Maine, went to Husson University, graduated from there with a business education degree. And we had lots of pets growing up. We lived in small towns, and my parents divorced and they remarried, and they also had other children. So I come from a large family, and my husband and I now currently have a large family as well. I teach reading. I teach Title I reading at the school in Vinalhaven. I've been a teacher for special ed, social studies, theater, and reading for 20 years now.
Wow, that's phenomenal. We're lucky to have you in our community giving back and teaching such important and critical life skills. So tell me, what got you started in pageantry? What did the start of your journey look like for you?
I was 16 and did a local pageant. It happened to be my town's bicentennial year, and so I became Miss Vinalhaven when I was 16 years old. I went to the Maine Blueberry pageant system at the Union Fair, and then took many years off. I went one time with my niece, and she asked me if I would like to join her in the pageant system again. So I did a few small Maine pageants, and then we went to the international system, and I was Mrs. Maine International 2021, and she was Miss Maine International 2021. So that was very exciting for us both to be able to go to Tennessee to the national pageant. And a lady there that I met had done a kudo pageant before, and she suggested that I give kudo pageantry a try.
I love that. Yeah, we've gotten wind up here in Maine about
Yes.
Christina and the wonderful legacy she runs. So tell me, what's kind of set her pageants aside for you?
I felt welcome the minute I entered the registration room. They are very welcoming. Their fees are very reasonable for as far as pageants go. There are so many women. They're of all ages. Being 52, you can imagine that when you step aside, step in, and there's someone who's 25, 30 years old, that you might not feel like you belong in a pageant system. But with Christina's pageant system, we have so much fun. There's such camaraderie. The girls encourage each other. We root each other on. Christina makes it comfortable for children. She has party nights, themed party nights for us, and she keeps in touch with us throughout the year. There are several little contests that she'll have, and there's several options for optionals for those who want to show off their talent, who want to model, who want to be photogenic, and they have an interview session as well. So I think it really starts the ladies and the gentlemen. In December, she also does a boy one, and it starts the ladies from that journey of being able to speak in public and show what your platform is and share your information, and it encourages those to go out into their community and serve.
Tell me a little bit about the platform that you ran on and that you interviewed on yourself.
My platform is adverse childhood experiences, or childhood trauma. I unfortunately come from a background of some deep emotional generational trauma, and both of my parents had lived through trauma, and there are several instances of trauma in my life. My goal for promoting adverse childhood experiences is that those who experience trauma can find resilience through community resources, through friends, through other family members, and you can get through those types of trauma that really hinder or can overtake your life. There's, a child's brain is developed by the time it's 5 years old, 85%. And so those children, especially in a younger life, need more support, more love, more understanding. And it's been my goal to try to break that cycle of generational trauma, which affects so many.
Absolutely. I think, one, I really want to thank you for your platform as somebody who also had a lot of adverse childhood experiences. As later in life, it's amazing how it can kind of come back and hit us and affect us. So it's really important that people at all ages acknowledge what that transition looks like, because I think most of us when we're younger kind of think, oh, once we're out of this, it'll be better. Once we grow up, this won't be realistic. But we don't realize that the other shoe is going to drop and that it actually becomes harder the older you get, because the more you see what you've missed out on. So thank you so much for helping kind of gear people towards that interpersonal building and skill sets to help them with their toolbox to survive anything that life throws at them.
Very important. I mean, there are so many resources out there for people. I also, stay strong in my faith. My husband is such a great support. That's been really sharing those memories and sharing these instances of childhood trauma together have really bonded us as a couple as well. So.
I think our favorite saying here at the Maine Pageant Place is that it's not just a crown, it's a call to action. And it seems like you really embody that.
Yes, I hope so.
So I did see your resume. It looks like you have quite a bit of awards and accolades. Is there one that means more than not to you?
The Spirit of Pageantry Award that I won, that was the last one that Christina gave out. I think that was one of the most important ones that I received, because I think that when you go into pageantry and you're just looking to get a crown or a sash and you're not thinking about everything that goes with it and the impact that you can have. So I really think that the Spirit of Pageantry Award was very special to me. I've also received some scholarships to attend conferences, which helped me become a better teacher, into an international Disability Association, Literacy Association. So those types of scholarships are always important. So the accolades are great in that sense. It helps me become a better teacher. So
how do you lead authentically in a world that really prefers conformity?
There is no normal. There is no normal now. And as a child, I had parents who allowed me to be who I was and to be what I wanted to be. I had a very silly dad. I had, my mom allowed me to be whatever I wanted to be. She always said, I love theater. And I embody that, and I try not to let what goes on outside of my life affect. Nobody is going to remember me as if I have 1 million followers. But my children will, and my grandchildren will, and my husband will. So the impact that I have is that you can do things no matter your age, no matter your gender. These things are important, and all of these other things that happen in other people's lives, they're their lives. You have to live your life and just do the best that you can. And that's all that matters.
So do you have any upcoming events that you'd like to let the public know about?
I don't currently have any. I have usually, if somebody would need a presentation done as on adverse childhood experiences, they can contact me. I have another pageant coming up in August for the Mrs. Classic. So due to age, as we get older, but I don't currently have any planned for the rest of the summer. Hoping to take a little bit of time off for the summer.
Absolutely. It's important for us to take that downtime, and leading up to another pageant, sometimes that takes priority getting ready. So if you would have to give advice to a pageant queenie at any age, and maybe even older like us as we find this journey kind of later in life, is there anything that you would give them for a word of advice?
If you're going into a pageant for the first time, rehearse. Rehearsal really makes a difference, and that when you get out there on the stage that you're prepared. They look for those things, but it's also when they're interviewing you and they're looking at the overall picture, they want to see that when you're there that you are kind and genuine, and that you are that you're not competing against everybody else that's there. You're competing against yourself. You're showing the judges who you are and what what is important to you.
Is there anything that surprised you about pageantry in your later years?
That I would stay with it so long, and I really enjoy meeting all of the women. I have stayed with this pageant system for I think this is going on my second year now, so I enjoy the little ladies trips. My granddaughter goes, my daughter-in-law goes, so I enjoy the little small trips that we have, and the mess that we make of the room, and so you know, it's all fun and all important and supportive. I love the supportive atmosphere as well.
I think that really drives home. And I think for most of us, like, we don't realize what pageantry is until you do it. And then it's so addicting for so many different reasons. It's kind of a hard industry to leave and walk away from, I'm finding. And there's always new skills to be built, new friends to be made, and new missions to complete. So tell me a little bit more about what the kind of education sphere that you practice in looks like.
I teach Title I reading, and I've taught elementary children, so they're very small when they come in. They're very emotional, children are. I teach a child from the very beginning, from A, B, B, all the way to read, all the way through 5th grade. Those who are having difficulty with reading will come into my classroom, and we work on those certain areas that they need just a little bit of help on, or you know, a great amount of help on. I find that I create a relationship with my students, and that when they actually go on to other grades, that they remember being in my classroom fondly. So I really enjoy teaching. My goal is to actually go into the classroom and be a teacher in 4th, 5th, or 6th grade. I really like the middle school area. I like the middle school age. And so I hope someday to be able to move into that arena.
Well, I think that's so important. You're really the little one's first introduction into what education is. And that's one of the most important components, having somebody engaged and inspiring. And I can feel that from you and just this great interaction. So again, thank you so much for all of the hard work you're doing for our community in and around. And thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.